1, and we're live. Welcome back to Conversations with the Beat the Boss Challenge, and we have some of our usual guests with us tonight. There's some who have sent their apologies, but we've also got Rhiannon back, who was super excited and responded to my request for additional guests. This is week 9, I think, 10. It's week 10. Okay, so I've just had people putting their hands up and telling me numbers, so I think it's week 10. So we are going to give you our updates, and we're also then going to talk about your exercise in general. Do we just follow our JSA plans? Are we doing additional stuff on top? How do we kind of work on putting the exercise in as well as a calorie deficit? So it's a bit of a bank holiday special. I'm drinking. Hannah's drinking. Anybody else drinking?
I'm on the water.
Oh,
no, but I feel like
I haven't got my water.
Soda.
Easy.
I was working today, so.
Oh yeah, because Scotland don't get a bank holiday.
Nope.
I was working
because
too.
they get a 2-day hangover on New Year's.
Oh, it didn't stop me going to a wedding yesterday, so that's all good.
So yeah, let's crack on. Chris is talking, so maybe he can give us his update first.
Yeah, last week went really well after many people giving me a kick up the arse to get back on it the week before when I was hitting my wobble. So I managed to get my 4 workouts done last week and 111,000 steps in the week last week. So my target was 1.26 million steps for the challenge, and I've been averaging about 110, 112 a week, give or take. So my goal has been 15k a day or more per day, never anything less than 15,000 steps. And I've got 116,500 to go with 2 weeks left. So I should get my target for my steps. My side goal was the gym. I was trying to get 40 workouts done in 84 days, but because of that wobble I didn't manage to do it. I can still make it up, but I'm just kind of going to just pick it up and just take it in the chin, and kind of treated last week as day 1, is what we were talking about last week. So just making sure I'm consistent from now until the end of the challenge in my workouts. And yeah, plenty of golf, just to kind of keep the steps going.
Sounds good. I think when you first said that challenge of your gym workouts, I remember thinking that was a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
But I think you've been on plan every week but last week or but the previous week. So
yeah, I think I've missed maybe 6 workouts in total. 4 of them were the week I had the wobble. Other than that, I've been pretty much. Because I think beforehand, I was during lockdown on the previous challenge, I was always going minimum 3 days a week anyway. So I thought, let's just try and stick to the target and not have any wobbles. But inevitable happened, and it happens. You just need to get back on it again and kind of pick it up. And I'm going to try and do my 4 a week now for the last 3 weeks, including last week. The coaches have been brilliant. Jack's been great as well. He's been kind of reaching out to me on the messages on the chat and the app, and just kind of saying, look, if it makes you feel more accountable, send me a screenshot of your workouts you're complete, and just tell me how many days you're trying to achieve, and we'll chase you up if you don't hear from me. So they were brilliant, and all the PTs on the app been great.
That's very active.
Yeah, because I don't lean on them much unless they reach out to me to say, how's your week been, what have you got planned? So that's the first time I've had more interaction with them, and them asking questions, what I'm doing to try and get back on it again. So from that aspect of it, I doff my hat to them. They've been absolutely brilliant throughout that last week or so when I was struggling.
Brilliant. And I've seen you in the gym today.
Yep.
Doing your dance. Yeah, and I think that kind of makes them enjoyable as well, because you're kind of putting that in between. And
so sometimes I take suggestions, and people always reach out and go, look, they're funny, just put a suggestions box up. I've got so many I want to drop in, so I just kind of pick them off as I go and just have a bit of fun with it. And I just add it to my Spotify queue, and I put it on random, and whenever they pop up, I just go, right, you know what, fuck it, let's have a bit of fun.
It made me, there's a friend of mine who I've done some labouring with, whenever Eye of the Tiger comes on the radio, he has to drop down and do 10 press-ups. So so we played a game with him one day when we were doing it. We didn't have the radio on. We had a phone connected to Spotify, and we just kept putting it back on. He's like, it's your rule, you do it. He's like, yeah, normally it's like once a day or something I hear it, but we had it on like 10 or 11 times. He's like, you fucking...
It's quite funny because sometimes when I'm in the garage doing them, those days, it's a ballad I'm enjoying, and I went back in from the gym, and Debbie will go, yeah, I heard you singing that one. And I'm like, oh, is it that loud? And my neighbours are out doing their garden or whatever, and I'm in the garage working out and singing at the top of my lungs. But I just enjoy it. Fuck it. People don't want to watch it, don't want to hear it, don't listen and don't watch.
Yeah, precisely.
I love them. They're brilliant.
Oh, on that note, Nikki, you want to give us your update?
Sure. Where have I gone this last week? Yeah, everything's going. These last few weeks I've just dropped a centimetre each week, but that's fine. It's still going down. Yeah, pull-ups are still getting there. Definitely getting there. There's definitely improvement, but not quite there. But that's okay, because I think it's only a sub-goal, so it'll just carry on going. I think I'm 1.5 centimetres away from my 20 centimetre lost target overall, so still going. It's good. We're nearly getting there. Rest of the week, it's been good. We had a lot of cake and food and good food this weekend. Tracked everything, not quite under, but that's fine. Tried to get some steps and tried to get everything else in gear. But yeah, bit more relaxed. Albeit all tracked, but a bit more relaxed this week. But everything going in the right direction still. I hope.
Well, that's a centimetre and a half off. That's brilliant.
Nearly there.
And you're looking really good for it. So well done.
Thanks.
And those pull-ups, you'll get there.
Yeah, I think it's a sub-goal, and it's something I've worked towards since the start of the challenge, and I might not get there by this challenge, but I'll still continue to keep working on it. It may have been a bit too much of a stretch, the 12 weeks, because I have fuck all upper body strength, but I've made massive improvements since I started, so I'll just keep going on that until I get there, but won't be too disheartened if I don't get there in the next couple of weeks. But
the amount of people who put pull-ups as a challenge, and I don't think they realise how big a challenge it is. You know, I'm a lifetime away from putting that down as a challenge.
Same, really.
Good stuff. And Shannon has joined us. So Shannon, you can jump in because you've got 2 updates to do. You're going to give yours and Stuart's, and then we'll go back to Nikki because she was going to give Paul's updates.
I need to find Stuart's, but can I do my update and then Nikki can do someone or whoever it falls, and then I can go back to Stuart's?
Of course.
Okay, so my update is I have only 1,000 thrusters left, so brilliant. Has been a shit enough week. Otherwise I've had like a lot going on outside of everything personally going on, but Rhiannon and Nikki have bought me flights over to see them for my birthday, so I'll get to see you as well. So that cheered me up a wee bit.
That's only if we invite him, Shannon.
I'm self-invited.
The girls are leaving everything as a surprise to me, so I don't know what's happening.
Oh, I'm not coming then.
So yeah, I feel like I will have my challenge completed before the end of challenge, or like my goal finished. But yeah, it's been a good week. I was in a calorie deficit this week. Rhiannon shouted at me because I was over my 20% of a deficit for the challenge, so I had to eat more yesterday. Wasn't it yesterday? But yeah, the challenge between the 3 of us is going well as well. So yeah, that's about the height of my update this week.
Hang on a second. So you were basically winning, and they told you off for it?
We agreed at the
No.
start that we weren't allowed to be in more than a 20% deficit for the week.
Okay.
So that we're not
It's all about
encouraging
doing it
disordered
healthily.
eating.
Yes.
We're not trying to starve ourselves to win a competition. That's not a good way of thinking,
That is not a good way of thinking.
despite how fucking
But
competitive we are.
I wasn't even thinking of just how I was eating or anything. I wasn't hungry.
In actual fact, you would probably need to be told to go and have something to eat because
Yeah, it's more laziness than anything with me.
well, laziness and when you've got loads of other stuff going on, sometimes that can occupy you too much where you're not eating.
Yeah, so last night I had like a bit of I had a really good day. I had got up and even the girls had said to me that I sounded so cheery on like a voice note yesterday morning. And then last night at about 8 o'clock, it just sort of hit me in a wave and I was like, whoa. And I just sat in that chocolate then. So
Yeah.
I was happy that I had saved calories all week.
Well, so I hope you're okay and life is on the up again.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
So let's nip over the pond and speak to Lauren.
Yeah, I mean, finally the fucking scale moved last week, so I was super, super excited about that. I shifted 6 pounds last week, which was totally unexpected. But I dove into, I don't think I really talked about this much. I've always wanted to write a book, a fictional book. Years ago I started, and then my house was robbed, and the manuscript was on the laptop that was stolen, and I just couldn't get back into it again. But I did this quarantine. I made that a thing to get into to kind of keep my mind occupied, and I finished it last week. So super yay.
Amazing.
Have you got a publisher?
The step is I have like people reading it, like a beta group that's reading it to see if it's any good or if it's shit.
Okay.
But I don't care because it's done. But that kind of kept me occupied, so I think that helped with moving the 6 pounds, because I wasn't in my downtime. I wasn't doing like snacking and shit like that. I was busy. I was doing that. So yeah, it was a good week. It puts me a lot closer to my goal for the challenge, but I still don't know if I'm gonna hit it by the end. That would mean I have to lose 10 pounds in the next 3 weeks. But we'll see. So it was a good week.
35,000 calorie deficit over. But hey, it's moving, and does it matter if you do it in 3 weeks or 5 weeks? Not really.
No, I know, but I'd like to hit the challenge. I'm competitive. It was
I didn't think you weren't going to give it a go. So
no.
But if you're below 20% deficit, there might be some people coming to have a word.
This is true, but I'm not in their challenge, so
Exactly. Only if you're in the challenge.
That's brilliant. I look forward to reading your book at some point.
We'll see. Fingers crossed.
Where am I going to go? I'm going to come back to Paul and Stuart, or their alter egos. Let's go in the middle of the screen. Let's go to Hannah.
Hey, how are you doing? Yeah, this week I've been quite relaxed with my food. I don't track very often. I do random spot checks on myself because I kind of eat quite similar stuff very, very often. I'm boring, but yeah, this week I've added in cake and Ben and Jerry's. You know, when it's like slipping off and you're like, oh right, an extra 1,000 calories here and half of the kids' sweets later. But I've managed to maintain, so I need to get back on my food, and I need to track for a few days just to get my mind back into that. Workouts, which is my challenge goal. Yeah, I'm on point for that. So I caught up the ones I missed when I was in hospital. So I'm sitting nicely at where I need to be. Yeah, that's about it. I'm looking forward to school, going back next week and getting some time to myself to just do something that isn't just being mum or just walking or supermarket shopping. So yeah, that's about me for this week.
So there you go, Chris. You can catch up on your workouts.
Can. I think I want to.
Yeah, exactly. I do you know what? I don't think after this challenge that I'll be keeping up home workouts. They're just not. I'm just doing them because they're part of the challenge. They're not something I'm particularly enjoying at all.
I think it depends. Do you think it depends on the equipment that you have available to use? Because I've loved it. I've found it more. I've learned more about workouts during lockdown working out at home than I have going to a gym, because I've found so many different ways to do something, whereas I don't think I've learned that going to a gym. And I'm crossing borders where I'm maybe thinking the gyms are open now in Scotland. They opened up today, and I'm thinking, will I go back? I don't know. I've got enough at home, so I think it just depends, Hannah, what you've got at home, doesn't it? Whether it's going to keep you interested in doing it.
I think for me, it's not even about going back to the gym. It's just working out and gym stuff. It's just not me. I just want to do fun things. I only live a little way away from rock climbing, like this rock climbing club, and I want to give that kind of thing a go, because I just know that I know the working out is everyone loves it, but yeah, for me, that's what this challenge is teaching me, is that's not how I'm going to stay fit and active at all.
Okay.
No, good on you. Find your own thing. That's it. That's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah, that will lead us nicely into our topic of discussion in a minute, I think.
Yeah.
Pipe down for now is what you mean.
Sorry.
Save it. Take a mouth and save it. That's what you said.
Yeah, cut the same. Okay, I'm just going to keep going around the screen. So, Rhiannon, you can give us your kind of just life update if you like, or
a life update.
And you can talk about home workouts actually, because I saw your post about you doing your boxing in your front room.
We can incorporate Project X.
Yeah, I'll talk about my workouts when we get into the discussion, I guess. Yeah, last week was good for me. I managed to pull it back and end the week 3 calories in a deficit. Just three. But that's good, considering Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday I ate out to help out as much as possible. I love a bargain, so 50% off food is enough to get me going, really. Yeah, so hammering the gym. This week I am doing some sessions at the start of the week, and then I'm off to visit a JSA member, Sophie, that I met in Cheltenham last year. So going to go and stay with her for a few days, and then work at the weekend, and then go on holiday. So it's probably not going to be the best 2 weeks food-wise, but we'll see what we can do. And I'm just giving Nikki and Shannon a chance to do well in the challenge. Although I am like 6,000 calories over for the challenge.
Oh dear. Well, good to have you back, Rhiannon.
Thanks.
And Fiona, who's been sat there quietly doing her painting by numbers. And it's Fiona's last week on the podcast. However, it is not your last week of the challenge.
It's not, no. Yeah, so my week's been all right. Like, the week was good mostly, but then the bank holiday came and I've eaten a lot. But it's been good. I've been out for some nice meals and stuff, and I've had a good weekend, so that's it. I'm enjoying the gym workouts. One of my friends that used to be at my old gym has joined Pure Gym with me, which is good. So it was nice to be able to do a workout with her the other day. I found I got a lot more done and did it a lot quicker as well because I wasn't sort of dillying around on my phone for a bit. Yeah, so I'm not on these podcasts again now because I'm back at college next week, which I'm really excited about. But that's something that I have to be quite conscious of because it's a real day at college 5 till 9 in the evening. And the cafe is always open halfway through, and it's got like coffees and cakes and everything. So yeah, that's going to be a bit of a challenge. But what I'm hoping is that if I put an extra bit of effort this week into getting back into it, I'll feel like I feel good. And if I feel good, I'm less likely to eat shit. So that's what I'm hoping for. And then I'm just going to take a load of like blueberries or something and snack on them all night. I don't know how I'm going to handle it, but I'm going to have to take something to college with me.
But however, you are thinking about it, which I think is important. You're already identified that could be a weak spot, or and there's ways of dealing with it. Either you map it into your calories, or you take something along with you. But you're thinking about it, which means your awareness is up of it.
Yeah, and I think it's such a long day, and it's difficult because you get halfway through the evening and you're like, my brain's getting tired, I want a coffee, and then you finish and you get home, and regardless of whether you've had caffeine, like your brain is just still buzzing like all night. I always find it really difficult to sleep. So I'm just hoping that if I can get on top of other things, I might find that routine a bit easier to get back into. But we'll see what happens. I'm just gonna plan and hope is what I'm gonna do. So we'll see.
And you're going to stay part of our group chat, so I'm sure that we will keep you accountable anyway, and we'll be checking in.
Get rid of me that easy. I might even pop on during the breaks just so that just interrupt it for 15 minutes so that I don't go and get a coffee. And I'm like,
I'll tell you what, that sounds like a plan. Sorry, I've just got to go join the Zoom call.
Yeah.
But I guess that's your interaction time as well, so you can chat with other people and stuff out. But it's really good if you've got somebody else, a friend in your gym, that will. I've always found that when I've had people that I'm training with, it's a commitment. It's a commitment to time and a place, and you tend to be there. So yeah, good. That sounds really positive.
So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Good. Well, I guess it's time for my updates. As I'm looking at the screen, Shannon seems to have morphed into a cushion. But yeah, so I came off of last week's call feeling better because I'd had, those that have listened, I'd had the positivity from the other guests, and that led through the week to the point where I went back and I looked at my start of challenge picture and my start of challenge weight, and I reweighed myself, and I weigh myself all the time anyway, but I hadn't quite, by going back and seeing my previous weight to where I am, and then looking at the pictures, plus then posting that, and I haven't put loads of my transformation pictures on there, but then seeing all the love and the respect from the JSA, kind of just reiterated, actually, do you know what, I have done something, I've lost weight. And there was a particular comment from Paul actually when he went, I think he said, oh, here he is, Mr. I've not done anything in this challenge. And then I'd lost the 6 kilograms, which is, I think, is maybe difficult for me because that's not as much as I've previously lost in all the time, but I've got to expect that it's going to slow down. But it was nice to see that actually that had changed, and actually people were identifying where there was changes within my transformation pictures. So yeah, that helped, and it kind of just made me go, do you know what, actually things, I wasn't feeling totally down and out about it, but it was like, just actually, you're in a good place, and it's restarted that I have the things I've been doing have been working, so just keep doing them. And that got me from that on Thursday, got me to message my boxing coach, to say let's do a session on Friday. I've always got box. Somebody been
Sorry,
drinking.
he's having a drink.
Box fit on a Saturday morning.
My first drink.
And then I did what a lot of people I think have done on bank holiday, and I had a Saturday night to remember, and I'm just going to watch my language because there is a.
Do you remember it?
Honestly, I'm her mother. Yeah. I'm dreading them going back to school, dreading it. And there's no one else that's to blame. That's the thing. It's not saying they've been around anyone else I can blame.
Laughing.
Oh,
It's adorable.
Oh, how cute.
So yeah, I went out on Saturday night with, well, Saturday's happened by going to BoxFit, getting a phone call from my friend saying, it's wine shopping time, which basically means he's run out of wine and we got to go and buy some more from Majestic. And I always like to go and buy good wine. So I went and bought wine, and while we were out, he said, I'm hungry, and I was like, I'm hungry. So we ended up in a, basically driving around looking for somewhere to go because we were both wanting to sit outside and wanted chicken. And that's quite specific to be looking for.
Yeah.
But we had burger, chips, chicken, and sat outside and drank 2 pints. This person also owns a bar, and we had to be at the bar for 4 o'clock. So we went home to his house, dropped off the van, got a taxi to the bar. We were in the bar at 4 o'clock, and I was home at midnight. Just wrecked. Woke up on Sunday, had a hangover. I was meeting up with Veg, and went out for lunch. Drank 2 more pints as hair of the dog. Had a 3rd pint with her and ate fish and chips. Came home and my street was having the social gathering in the turning circle again. I drank one of those bottles of wine I bought. Had 2 more bottles of Peroni. Got up this morning, went to boxing, and also did my rowing challenge. So I found a new challenge to do, which is always good for me. I need something to be aiming for. So I'm doing a 2,000 meters a day challenge. It won't happen every day, but I'm trying to keep those as part of my gym workouts. 2,000 meters on the rower. They're set.
I love.
Yeah, they're set workouts. I'm quite good on the rower, and it gives me something measurable because it is designed to improve your time. So I got those in, and I got kicked out of the gym at 6 o'clock because it was closing, and I didn't think bank holiday, maybe it was closing earlier. I was going to do deadlifts and squats because I've seen a picture of last year when I was doing deadlifts, and I was about 60 extra kilograms at the bar to what I'm doing now, and I didn't realize I'd maybe lost as much strength. So that was a remotivation. So yeah, I'm back on it, and drinking my Peroni on a Monday night. So yeah,
And back from the pub.
well, yeah, and Shannon's just back from the pub. So, but it is I wrote about this in one of my daily famous emails, which I'm not promoting on the podcast. However, what I realized was the bank holiday, it's the 31st of August. So actually coming back from the bank holiday to the 1st of September, tomorrow, is kind of a good reset point. And that came from meeting up with Pav on Friday night. So yeah, it's a good point to restart them.
I was discussing this earlier with Rihanna. Okay.
I don't know why we always feel that Mondays, first of the month, everything like that is a new time. But Chris spoke about day one earlier. And actually,
September
maybe. Sorry, go on.
I was going to say September is for a lot of us as well, just from the start of the academic year.
Mm-hmm.
We got those in education or have been through so much education. It feels like the start of a new year now.
Yeah.
With kids and everything, yeah. September is always a good.
And I've got a new job to start on.
Back to normal.
New job, yay!
Yeah, I got my old job back for £5,000 a year less than I had it. But a job's a job.
Okay.
And I won't say it publicly, but well, we can both play the game of reducing money. I can reduce effort. Should I choose to? But I know the job, I know the boss, I know I can do it, and it's just nice to have that back in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And that starts on the 14th of September. So it's, plus, do I want to go back to work and everybody be like, holy crap, what's happened to you in lockdown? Or, will there be other people walking through the door where you think, holy crap, how much did you eat in lockdown? And I want to be on the positive side of it. So, yeah, that's my focus for the next 2 weeks, is just make sure I'm doing everything right. But yeah, there we are. So I'm going to go back to Nikki to give Paul's update in the true form of Paul.
I'm not going to attempt the accent at fucking all. Right, so Paul still has his wanky wrist. He got a wrist injury, a suspect wrist injury a little while ago. So he still has a wanky wrist. Wrist is on the mend and feeling semi-better. More wanky things. But not load yet. Fuck that up, but not load bearing yet. As we know, he's switched his challenge goal to box jumps instead. I think he had some brilliant attempts this week. I think he showed us some fails and then the success at the end, which is lovely. He's got up to 97 centimetres and he's working up to 115 this week. And he's also said he's back to maintenance because he fucking felt like it.
And if anybody watched his story when he was doing those books, you saw a little fist pump as he did it, and then a massive smile when he got off.
It was great, wasn't it?
It was really like he really had overcome his fear with box jumps. Yeah, and his wonky wrist doesn't affect his legs, does it? So, yeah, good on him, because and I said to him when he did that, I think I said it last week, was being able to adapt to that when lots of people would give up is a massive win.
It's not just that as well. The other thing is the fact that he's switched back onto maintenance, and I've done strength goals, I've done maintenance goals, and I've done surplus goals, and you find when you are back in maintenance, you have more energy. So as a counter to that, you end up burning more calories anyway, so your maintenance levels can actually start to jump up, because it could eventually have more energy, burn more calories, and get back into deficit without even realising it.
Had that problem at the start of the challenge where he had to keep upping his calories because he was finding that he was still losing weight.
Yep. It's a tricky one to try and figure out for yourself when you've been doing a deficit on and off for so long and never really done a maintenance or surplus goal. I found that a total head fuck doing surplus. I hated it. Hated it. You just filled the gap with shite. You just ate rubbish. But no, it's fine. I can have this 6 packets of crisps. I've got 700 calories left. As you can't.
That sounds like fucking heaven.
You're sitting at 11 o'clock at night and you're not even hungry and you're thinking, I need to keep eating. I don't want anything.
I don't know what that feeling is, the not feeling hungry. I've not yet experienced that. Cake for breakfast, mate. Easy.
Yeah.
No, I get it's difficult to keep eating. I'm sure it is. And to eat the right stuff as well.
Well, yeah, I was just thinking about some of these like strong men, and somebody that I've done some work with doing a strongman. He pulled a truck for charity on yesterday, and he was talking about how that's really been negative because he's needed to eat so much to have the energy to do this strongman training, but he has been putting on weight, and he had previously lost all the weight.
Yeah.
And that is a mental battle. Was actually, I need it for the strength. And you look at strong guys, and they're big guys. They tend to have the bigger stomachs, and and he was saying it's so difficult to find. You need to eat, and he just sitting there eating bowls of pasta, and he's like, it's just hard to do, hard to get up to like 5,000-6,000 calories a day.
Yeah.
And it's not just okay, I can do that easily on a Friday or Saturday, and but try to do that every day, it'd just be too much.
I think I need to train to be a strong woman.
Yeah.
Big bowls of pasta from the pan, that is fine by fucking me.
My younger brother had that issue. I remember whenever I first started the last challenge. So he plays like county hurling, and he has to eat like 5,000 for them to just be in a normal, like that's their like maintenance calories. So I was sitting eating like 30 grams of dried porridge, and here he was sitting eating like 120 grams of dried porridge just so that he could try and make up his calories.
I remember seeing a like Sky Sports like day in the life with the rugby player O'Driscoll. And he went home from training and put 24 chicken legs in the oven, and that was a snack while he was waiting for something else. I was just like, holy crap, like 24 chicken legs. It's just, it's a lot of chicken.
Oh, chickens.
I think that, like, I think
that's
that's the difference, isn't it? It's like we sit here and go, oh, I'd love to be on more calories, but actually that's so that we can have our treats and stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas what they're supposed to be doing is having more calories for stuff like protein and stuff, which I think ends up being the actual struggle.
I think Jamie Alderton done a video maybe 2-3 years ago, maybe about 2 years ago, where I think it was that Michael Phelps used to eat 12,000 calories a day when he was in the Olympics, and Jamie Alderton tried to do it, and he was still eating it just before midnight, and he was sitting with a big curry, just got the chicken and rice. It was just like, oh, fuck, this is exhausting just eating this. And he showed off, because Jamie Alderton, for those who know him, he's ripped, absolutely ripped. And ended up his six-pack disappeared in one day just with the bloating. His stomach was totally bloated. And he's like, it's gone. It's just one day, it's gone. He's like, it's just, I don't know how people could eat that amount for training. But Michael Phelps, he's a complete anomaly. And he's just, that guy was just naturally burning 10 to 12,000 calories a day just with his training.
But from having done triathlon training, I was eating more, and I was finding I was eating, and it just seemed to disappear. It was just being absorbed super quickly, and it was like I was constantly feeling hungry, and I was eating more, but your body's just going, I need that, and it did feel like it was that sort of feeling. It was just being sapped from me.
Yeah.
It was as soon as I was eating it. It was really weird experience. Because I'm going and sitting on a walk bike for 2.5 hours, and watching a movie at the same time. Just being, that's how you have to do it. You've got, I've got to sit here for 2.5 hours. What am I going to do? I'm going to take my iPad and I'm watching a movie. If you go to any gyms where there's triathletes training, that's all you see is iPads and then watching something.
I had, like, it's funny, isn't it? Like, you don't realise how much food affects you until you do something that's quite big like that. When we did the Yorkshire Three Peaks a couple of years ago, I was really, really, really tired, and I was like, we started towards the last part of the walk on the final peak. The group was quite separated, and I was just so exhausted that, like, I was in the middle of this field, and I was like, I think I'm just gonna have a little, like, quiet cry just while there's no one else around. And as soon as I opened my mouth, I ended up like wailing like a proper child, like really loud. Didn't know where it came from. And then I remembered that I had some like sugary sweets in my bag. I'm not even lying. As soon as that hit my mouth, like, I stopped. It was like being a toddler, and I was like, nom, nom, nom. And then as soon as I finished that, I started wailing again until I got another one out, started eating that. And then I was quiet again for 5 minutes. But that's what it felt like. It was just getting zapped up straight away. And then as soon as I finished it, I was in floods of tears again. And then when I caught up with the rest of the group, I was like, has anyone got any gummy worms?
That was like taking a diabetic low.
Yeah.
I was about to say, Shannon, can you relate to that? Because I lived with a diabetic, and I remember hearing at 3 a.m. somebody going downstairs in floods of tears, and the freezer opening, and I was like, what's going on? I got up, and she was sat in front of the freezer eating ice cream.
You're in like a daydream, and you're just mulling food into you, and you're just like, I don't want to feel like this.
Yeah, it's quite. When you see that happening, it's quite horrific.
Yeah.
The freezer was open. She was sat on the floor and she was eating ice cream, and I was like, "Are you okay?" She almost wasn't there. It was.
Yeah, my mom describes it as like if she was to look at me, it looks as if I'm looking like straight through you.
Yeah.
It's weird.
There's a good mate of mine. He's diabetic, and he starts to sound drunk when he's speaking to you. His words slurred, and he just kind of. But he always had a rucksack under his desk when we were in work, and it was just full of chocolate. And we
Yeah.
used to just go into the bag and just grab a whisper and just hand him a whisper or something just to eat. And
They tell you
5
not
minutes,
to
fine.
eat chocolate because your body burns the fat before it'll burn the sugar in your body. So it's like years ago they used to tell you eat a Mars bar, but they tell you not to now.
Interesting. That is something that if people want to know more about, they should go and listen to Behind the Shannon. Little plug for you there.
Smooth.
Also, if you want to hear about random dating stories, also go listen to Behind the Shannon.
There's just everything on it.
And the crazy thoughts.
I'm gonna have to do a podcast on that.
I absolutely
Crazy.
love them. They're like, they're real deep stuff.
It's, Shannon's crazy thoughts. It's, but hey, they're there. And I'm sure you're not the only person who has crazy thoughts.
I love listening to like how you're trying to work it out in your head as you're saying it.
I have a new one actually.
Give Stuart's update and then go into it. Or
Yeah,
save that for the end bit.
Yeah, Shannon, on that note, can you please give Stuart's update, please?
So Stuart has had a brilliant week. He is on his holidays still. He has been eating well, drinking, and enjoying himself. He's been doing no Murph training, but he's done runs. And I think if you've watched the stories, he's been improving day on day with them. So yeah, he'll be back home, I think it is tomorrow, and I'm sure he'll be back Murph training then.
Yeah, my only question I've got, and I keep meaning to ask Stuart this, is there's been no Kaiser in these stories, and I'm trying to think, where is Kaiser? That is
I
my
think
only
it's
question.
getting puppy stat, because he had said on the group chat about the worst thing about going away with dogs is having to try and find them like to be looked after.
There we are. See, I should read the group chat. Brilliant. Well, yeah, and you know, one thing I've taken from watching that, and also seeing Pav on his holiday, is going on holiday doesn't mean you need to stop training or doing your stuff. And Chris, you know, when you went on holiday and you were doing your steps, you know, is that so you can keep a point of focus when you go on holiday? And that would be my, you know, I go on holiday and I'm like, right, fuck it, down tools, I'm on holiday. You know, but actually seeing, you know, Pam's going to a random CrossFit gym, you know, Stuart's still doing his runs, you were doing your steps, you didn't use your bands, but, you know, that's, yeah, but...
I used my biceps to pick up the beers. That was kind of the
Good
extent.
training.
But from that, you saw positive results, and I'm sure Stuart will be, you know, in his Murph training, you know, he's not been doing Murph training, but he has been doing runs, which is part of his Murph, so...
Yeah.
You know, he'll see the benefits of doing that as well.
And even the food will probably allow him that he'll be a lot stronger coming back as well.
Yep.
And having that week's break.
It's also, I remember triathlon training, and when it was mapped out, and I'm not sure if I remember this or said this previously, but when I was sat down with my triathlon coach, and it was like, right, 4 weeks on, 1 week off, my whole plan was set out like that. And the first one I did, I went to Manchester on week 5 on work, and I went out and did a run in the morning. I think I was still pissed. I definitely was still pissed on being away on if anybody, Chris might be able to relate to it, when you go away on a sales meeting, it's alcohol fueled. But I went out and did a run, and then I continued training throughout that week. And all I got on when he was seeing my workouts was, what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? And I was like, I'm fine. I feel good. I feel fit. I'm on it. And then he was like, all right. He said, tell me that in week 7. Week 7 came, and I was tired. I was so tired, and I needed to have a week off. You know, and now he was like, that's exactly why I've put a week off in for you. A week off doesn't mean go and be a dickhead with your food or whatever, but a rest week, where you'd sometimes just go back to focus on the basics, my steps and my calories, you need to do to let your system recover. And maybe that's where we all were last week, was actually we just needed to let our systems recover.
Yeah.
I think we spoke about it a few times, saying 12 weeks is a long time. And if for the people that have done back-to-back challenges, you've only had 2 weeks rest in between challenges, 2-3 weeks rest. And the 12-week challenge isn't always about hitting a goal. It's about just building up the habits to continue with it. It's not always about just hitting your goals that you want to get. If you get it, great. But as Nikki was saying about her sub goal of the pull-up, it'll eventually happen. It's just that what she's doing just now is enabling her to get to that point. And it's not always about just doing that.
Absolutely. And I think that's when I think about the next challenge. So I probably will do it because it works for me to be accountable. But I'm going to be planning it as 4 weeks on, 1 week off. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to actually do that. I'm going to take that knowledge from the triathlon trainer and say, do you know what? Actually, we'll have and Paul's felt that he needs to go to maintenance calories, because you need it. Your body needs the fuel.
I think there's quite a bit of research into it. Are they called diet breaks? Is it Sohi that talks about it quite a bit? I always presented stuff on it. You go up to maintenance for an extended amount of time because then your body gets used to then burning more calories because you've had more in your system. Something wonderfully scientific. I think they're quite a well-studied thing once you get back to it. I think when I was in between challenges, I tracked but was nowhere fucking near a deficit. I had planned to. I don't even know whether it was maintenance, but I'd actually, looking at the pictures from the end of the challenge to the start of the other one, my waist had got smaller, everything is still shrunk, scales were all over the fucking shop, but it's giving you the energy to do more. And then actually your body's, when you're in a deficit, you bang into a deficit rather than it just sort of trailing. You have your diet break and then you can sort of go again, and it starts, if you weight loss, if you think it starts falling off again quicker to the same extent that you started at.
Yeah,
that makes sense. I feel like I'm rambling a little bit, but that kind of thing, I think it's the thing.
Yeah, and one of the things you mentioned, Hannah, was you don't track that often because you feel you have the same stuff, and sometimes you do check in with yourself. But that's what James tries to teach us. Actually, tracking is about getting you to a place where actually you're able to eyeball. It's, that's a really positive place to be. Is actually, I don't need to track because I know what it is. I know
it's like giving you the tools to learn what you need to do, and then the world's your oyster sort of thing. Do as you need.
Yep. No, I done really well last week getting back on it, and I knew on Saturday was coming up I was going out with Cookie and Andrea, and I didn't even bother tracking anything. I just put 6,000 calories in my tracker for Saturday because I knew I was just going to eat and drink whatever I felt like I wanted. And it's just understanding that sometimes you're just going to do that.
We call them fuck it calories, don't we, Rhiannon?
Fuck it. I just didn't even put any food in. I just went in and put manual add 6,000 calories.
Yeah. I do that, and then where you name it, I just put fuck it, and then the amount of calories.
Rhiannon taught me that one.
I love that. That was
Sometimes
brilliant.
it's easier to do that though than like if you're out on a day out, worry about, oh my god, how many chips did I eat, or like how many calories
is this the right meal that matches what I had?
Like you can guesstimate a lot of it, but when you just are having a whole day where you just need to like enjoy yourself, just fuck it calories and overestimate.
Remember with the food
because sometimes you have not been anywhere near as bad as you think you have. So sometimes tracking it after can make you be like, oh, I'm only like 500 over, rather than like I've absolutely spanked thousands. And
because actually naturally you probably make more sensible choices. Because you've learned to make those more sensible choices. And our topic of discussion is changing here, but it's all just about having a chat. Exercise then. Chris and Hannah were talking about it. They're actually, do you know what? Workouts aren't right for Hannah. Chris is training in the gym. Hannah's got a guest again.
See, I'm with Hannah. I hated home workouts. I got my steps in instead of doing my home workouts. I bought myself a whole home gym and spent an absolute fortune. My wee brother uses it now, but I realistically got no use out of it.
I hate it.
Like because I was used to the CrossFit community, and like it is a community. If you're struggling in a workout, you have somebody stood beside you shouting at you to finish your last rep or your last 5 reps, whatever. Whereas if you're at home and you're struggling, it's a real mental challenge to do it.
Yeah.
And it's not like a normal like gym workout where you can do a set and then stop. It's like as many rounds as possible in a certain time frame. So you have to push and get as much as you can in.
I have to be in the mood to do a home workout, but sometimes I just can't be asked to get to the gym, and then I have to do something, so I'll do a home workout. And I've always got my go-tos, which is like a box circuits one, which looks really funny when you're just punching the air.
It does. Sorry.
But it's something I know that I'll enjoy doing, and I can do it for 45 minutes without feeling depressed as hell that I'm having to do burpees or something. So yeah, like I will do that if I need to, but I much prefer actually going to the gym.
Yeah.
Well, it's fun.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry. Go on.
No, I was gonna say I feel the same way. Like it was nice having the home workouts as a fallback. It's not my go-to, but like certain days my schedule would get totally fucked, and it's like, oh, it's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna be able to get to CrossFit class on time, or I'm not gonna be able to book whatever else I wanted to do. So it's nice having that in my back pocket to throw on. You know, I have a couple of routines, a couple of plans they've given me. I finished one. I have a couple others. And it's just it keeps me accountable, because I can't turn around and be like, oh, I couldn't get to class, so I guess I can't do anything today. It's like, oh, now I have something to fall back on, which is good. It like keeps me, I can't say fuck it as much because I know I have that backup sitting there. Like, all right, if I don't do it, is on me. It's not because I didn't have the opportunity. So
See, that's why I like working out at home, because at the moment, all my stuff's in the lounge. I can see it now. And if I haven't done it, it's there watching me. And I don't have an excuse. It's there. It has to get done. But then I like it for 2 reasons. One, I can get up in the morning and do it and not give a shit about moving anywhere. It literally is rolling out of bed and right. It's there. It's got to be done. It's eating the frog, isn't it? That's the phrase. Eating the frog. First thing. But it's also, like Chris does, you put on whatever the fuck music you want and you can dance around in between sets. And granted, I don't film it because no one needs to be horrified by that.
I dance in CrossFit even if people's there.
But yeah, it's
in the gym.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, both more confident than me. Anyway, I love doing it at home. I love dancing and being a prat in between sets, and it's just, yeah, it keeps me accountable because it's there. I can't not do it. I have no excuse.
But like I found certain so CrossFit I started, and CrossFit was what I needed when I first started working out 2 years ago, because I needed the regimen. Like I needed that set thing. This is what we're doing, the coaching, people riding my ass to be like, get your ass up and finish. Like I needed that. And now that I'm kind of on top of that, I found that has built a bridge to do things I want to do. I don't know if I've been on or if I've talked to you guys since I went horseback riding. I finally started riding again.
Yeah, you said, I remember.
Yeah.
And
good to see, actually.
Yeah, and when I got there, you know, like I always used to have to use a mount. I had to use the steps to get on the horse, and now I'm strong enough I can get on from the ground, which I've never been able to do even when I was a teen.
Amazing.
That's amazing.
That was super.
Right there.
Yeah, like that was super cool. And then just certain things, like I just found riding a lot easier. It was even easier than I guess the mind fuck of it was that riding now is easier than it was when I was 18. Because I'm stronger than I was then, because I wasn't doing I was only riding. I wasn't doing any kind of exercise. I was always heavy. So I found myself, you know, really, really enjoying it. And I wouldn't have been able to do that without, I guess I'm speaking to Hannah's point, like whatever exercise works for you at this given piece of time, you can reevaluate. So like right now, I don't have any big aspirations to do competitions, to do, you know, anything bigger in CrossFit. So I found myself pulling away from that a little bit and doing boxing, doing horseback riding, doing things I enjoy, because I'm more likely to seek it out than to like force myself to go to class if I'm not really feeling CrossFit that day. So I think it's good to, James Smith had done either done a video or a live or an email that was talking about like somebody had questioned him and they were like, oh, I hate running, should I do it? And he was like, if you don't like running, don't run. Like skateboard, bike, like find the thing you enjoy doing and you're much more into it. So, and I found that to be really, really true.
Absolutely. Salsa's that for me. And
I get people pulling, sorry, Nikki.
No, go on. Sorry.
So I get people pulling me up all the time. They'll say to me, why don't you just go and run it? It's quicker. I'm like, well, I don't like running.
I like it.
I don't enjoy running.
Right.
I won't get it. I think it was my brother said to me when I was out golfing, he says, so you're going to go out and do 15,000 steps every day. I says, well, I'm doing it for this challenge because I've got a goal that I want to hit. I might drop it down to 12,500 steps a day once the challenge is finished. But then I'm thinking it's only 2,500 of a difference. I might as well just keep doing the 15 and not beat myself up about it if I don't hit it because I'm not doing it as part of my challenge. If I do between 10 and 16 a day, fine, I'll just do it. Yeah. But he's like, oh, you're going to end up damaging your hips and your joints and your knees. And I went, but I'm not running, I'm walking. We walk every day. It's like, I'm not. And I think people just have it in their head that you're going to you have to run instead of walking. But why? And I think when I'm out walking,
running is actually uses less steps, I find.
Only if you've got really long legs like you.
Yeah. You're taking a bigger stride, yeah.
Or you, Rhiannon.
There's the other benefit of walking. Like, people don't understand. Like, Rhiannon wrote a blog post, see? Another little plug. About, walking is underrated because...
So underrated.
That's right. My dad does it for therapy.
I love it.
It's his place where he can think, not think. I was having a chat with the lady that runs the local shop, because she said to me, I always go to the local shop afterwards on my walk. That's what I end up back there to buy my evil cigarette things. And she was like, oh, have you been for your walk this morning? And I was like, yeah. And we had a whole conversation about it. She was like, she felt that she needed somebody to walk with all the time. And I was saying, well, I do loads of things on my walk. Like, I will story, or I'll make a phone call, or I'll listen to a podcast, or sometimes I just listen to music. Sometimes I just listen to the birds and watch my surroundings. And it doesn't always have to be a chore. You can fit other things in, with your walking.
Sometimes I have no sound in my earphones. I just put my earphones in my ears so no one talks to me.
I do that.
I just go walk, and there's nothing. I just hear nothing, and I just walk. I love it.
I had went on a walk the other day to my shop, like it's not even half a kilometre away, and I had my earphones in and I had forgot to take them out whenever I got to the till, and I was like still trying to talk to him, and I was like, I can't hear him properly. I realised I still had my earphones in.
That's fine. I was actively looking for my phone the other day when I was on the phone. I was actually looking for it. And I even said to the person on the phone, I said, give me a second, I can't find my phone. And they were like, dickhead. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. So don't worry about that, Shannon. I am
just go
village idiot sometimes.
With me, it doesn't. Like, nothing faces me anymore. Like, just
laugh it off. Fuck it.
I did just laugh it off. Yeah, it's, I mean, the topic of discussion came for me, about the fact that the James Smith Academy, everybody feels that we're doing our weights workouts and that's why we do it. But actually, there's so much going on. For me, I find my love previously in triathlon, and then when that stopped, back to boxing, and I've always done boxing, and I'm just really happy in doing that. But I use the weights workouts to advance me in those things.
Yeah.
And I actively go to the coaches and say, I'm doing my boxing, I need my plan to fit for that.
Mm-hmm.
I've done that for me. So salsa's that for me. I absolutely fucking love it. Obviously haven't been able to do it during lockdown because it's a little bit close. But And I used to do it 3 or 4 times a week, and it's just such fucking good fun. And you'd be there all night, and you're knackered. I used to be hungover the days after just from body ache and from dehydration from sweating that fucking much.
Do you go to places like Revolution de Cuba then, things like that then?
Yes. I'm not quite that good, but yeah, I love it.
As I've been in those places a couple of times, and it always everybody is having loads of fun.
That's amazing. It's for me, it was one of the few things that I can actually switch off and concentrate on. Anything else, my brain goes at 100 miles an hour with work or anything. But you cannot think about anything else when you're dancing because you're in fucking heels, and you might be able to tell I'm not particularly fucking girly or very elegant or any of that, but upright in a pair of heels, and you can't think of anything else because you're going to kick yourself or stand on your own toe, which fucking hurts, or kick someone else or fall on your ass. You can't. I love it for that. But yeah, the strength training, I'm really excited. I've been doing obviously workouts since lockdown, but all the time it's my core that lets me down. It's keeping yourself upright, and as you're spinning and round and round and fucking round, keeping yourself upright and looking at your point. So I'm really excited to go back with all the work I've been doing from all this to see how that helps. And
Do you guys find you guys find it hard to balance all the things you'd like to do? So like for me, I still enjoy CrossFit, but I enjoy horseback riding, but I enjoy boxing, but I also recently tried a trapeze yoga class, loved it. So like I don't have enough time to do all the things, and I would like to get better in each area, but I don't have enough time to dedicate the time to get really good at the trapeze or really good at the horseback riding. So like it's like I have to pick which thing gets put on. Like I feel like I have a hard time balancing.
Yeah, absolutely. I first started JSA when I was doing salsa and trying to fit 3 weights in a week with 3 salsas in. And the nights you're out salsa, you can be not back to 1 or 2 because I get a bit distracted by the time of the alcohol. But yeah, and then you're fucked for the next day and you can't work out, and it all just messes into one. And then if you do too much legs on one day, you can't fucking move to dance with because your legs feel like lead. So yeah, I struggled, and then lockdown hit and it was easy just to do one. But yeah, completely agree. I think when it all kicks back up.
I have forgotten how much leg is involved in the horseback riding, like how much you're using your core, inner thigh just for control. So the next day I was like, oh fuck, like I forgot, and I like stood up and I was like shit. And then like the class was like thrusters and all this bullshit, and I was like, I could barely move. Like I got down and I was just stuck. Like I couldn't get back up, and I was like I literally got down and I just was like, nope. I guess I just live here now. Yep. Laughing because I literally just sat on my butt like a little kid, and I was like, nope, couldn't get back up again. Like it was, but like, so it's like finding the balance, and like I don't. My CrossFit is very big on like they get very annoyed with you if you're a cherry picker, constantly looking at the workout and you're like, hey, I'm not coming to that one because it's too many. It's the assault bike, but I'm gonna go to that one because like they want you to see week. But if I'm doing other sports and other activities, you know, like if I had a really good boxing session and the next session is all arms, my arms are dead. Like they're dead from the previous day. So I find it hard to balance all I want to do.
The good thing with CrossFit gym I find is like Monday is your squats, like Wednesdays your like pull-ups and like upper body, and then Friday's a hero WOD. Like they have certain things for certain days, and then it's like each month you have like your strength series for each one.
Yeah, mine doesn't do which they did.
I find it a struggle trying to get into things that I love as well. Like I used to go to boxing quite a lot, and that was when like I got really, really slim. And I absolutely loved it because it's a similar thing to you, Nikki. Like you can't concentrate on anything else, and you're absolutely exhausted by the end of it. Yeah. But the gym that I was going to, it's like 70 quid a month for 2 sessions a week, and I've got to think of other things at the minute. Like I've got college fees to pay for, I've got I'm saving for a house, so much stuff going on, and I keep looking at the budget and going, can I squeeze something else in? Can I just fit it in and try and I still want to do it because I'm really desperate to get back, but I really miss it. So it's a time thing, and it's a bit of a financial thing as well, because it's quite a bit of money each month to be spending when you've got other priorities as well. So
I like boxing too.
I love it.
At the minute I'm really looking into starting Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I can't say it properly.
I wonder why.
Start pronouncing it first. One at a time.
I'm just gonna call it BJJ. But yeah, I just really want to start it. Because James does it, Sinead has done it, Anya, who's only down the road from me now, she does it as well in Belfast, and they all absolutely love it. And I just feel like it's gonna be something.
You just want to roll around on the floor with some men, don't you?
Yeah, just sweaty men.
Any man. But yeah, then Rhiannon inspired me a little while ago when she went back to a boxing class, and I used to kickbox, and I used to absolutely love it. And I kind of want to start that back up again, but it's finding the time to fit it in. It's
My problem
time
is
is an
that
issue.
I like boxing and I like kickboxing. But only if I'm against an opponent that is an equal match to me. Like, I'm not great at sparring. I don't enjoy it because that involves so much thinking in my head. But I either like to box on a bag because I know that it's there. There's nothing worse than going to a boxing class and having someone that doesn't try and hit you back with the pads.
Yeah,
Because
that's a really bad padder is the worst.
Might as well just not bother. Like,
when they go like that with their arm. It's like, where are you going?
Let me fucking hit it. Yeah.
Straight out the door. See you next week then.
Yeah. So as much as I really love boxing, it has to be the right sort of class for me to enjoy it. Because otherwise it's a waste of my time punching against someone with limp wrists.
The worst.
I tell you what, but pads is hard. It's a different sport.
It's very hard.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
You get a good pad man, and it means the world. Like, I was doing some stuff in the gym where my coach was trying to teach the girl that comes to the same sessions how she could get better at pads, and she just doesn't have the strength to take my punches.
And that's fine.
She doesn't have the talent. But if you look at like the elite guys when they're doing the pad work and it's like tap tap, here, there, like that is a real skill to learn.
Yeah.
As to be good, and if you add that to kickboxing in different locations and completely different
angles.
I think when you go in,
they break their hands and things if they're taking on a top puncher.
I think when you go into a boxing session, you should be able to try everyone down the line and find someone that can take the punch. Because otherwise, and the annoying thing is the gym I go to, they've only got one bag and it's right in the middle of the gym. So with the way that they do the one-way system and the COVID measures and stuff, I don't feel confident enough just going in and sparring on my own on the bag because of where it is. It's right in the middle of the walkway for going around the gym. So I mentioned that the other day because they're not bringing boxing classes back yet, obviously, because it's close contact.
Haven't been anywhere that's doing that.
Yeah, but outside's fine, right?
Yeah, no, I'm not. If anybody's seen my videos, I'm sure there's going to be forward questions.
But like that annoys me, because I really enjoyed that before lockdown. So I am doing, like I said earlier, the boxing where I'm just punching the air. But then I spent a lot of money on some gloves, and I can't use them.
Wear your gloves while you're doing the air punching.
I'll find a wall.
You don't realise you're holding 14 or 16-ounce gloves.
Yeah.
That is extra work in your arms.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that and look even more stupid for my videos for Nikki to watch.
You don't look stupid. They're inspiring. I'm only teasing.
I
want to get back to it.
Nikki's just jealous.
I am. The only
he is John stood in front of her. She has to hit him.
But you said something there, Rhiannon, about the opponent being equal matched. So the girl that I spar, right, is, I'm gonna guess her height, 5'4" maybe, right? And she might be shorter, she might be taller, but she's a lot shorter than me.
But she's like half your height.
Does she like punch your belly button?
No, I'll tell you what, she's punching me in the face sometimes. and it's completely different for me facing somebody of that size. I mean, I am briefed 50%, Alistair, make sure it's fit. And I was told off today because 50% stepped up a level. Because when you get punched in the face, the only thing you want to do is punch somebody else back in the face. And you have to remember that the person stood in front of you might not be able to take a heavyweight punch. The last thing I would want to do is knock somebody out in a sparring session. But
it'd be funny, but
she's got like that no fear, because actually some of your advantages against, I mean, she's going straight to, she's fighting a heavyweight. Like your advantage to it, and the learnings that I get from sparring with her, again, then sparring with my boxing coach, which is the most frustrating thing in the world, because he's a pro and he loves the fact that I can't hit him. And I just can't, I cannot hit him. He slipped and moved and he's gone. And I'm like, for fuck's, come here. And I'm like, I'm like, I'm gonna get you in a minute. I am gonna get, and I'm like, and I even said to him on Friday, I was like, I said, if you do that once more and I actually catch you, I said, you're in for a lot of trouble. And he went, catch me then. I was just like, all right, okay. Could I catch him? No. It's just so frustrating. Like,
catch him outside of the ring.
No, I can't catch him.
Sneak attack.
Like, even if it was outside of the ring, he'd be gone. It's just, he's a lightweight. I'm a heavyweight. The speed, timing, and everything difference is vast. But the learnings I get from fighting with those, if I then go in with a heavyweight, I'm faster, sharper, quicker. Because I'm used to fighting with lightweight.
It goes back to the Conor McGregor saying, "Time beats power, and power beats speed."
So it certainly does. As it always goes through my head. It's but so sometimes don't feel that I'm correctly matched, because it's sparring sessions. There's going to be adjustments. There's going to be changes.
Yeah, I think for me it's not sparring that I'm necessarily talking about. It's just when you're doing that like static pad work, and obviously you want to give it everything because you want to work out, feel sweaty, be achy in the morning, and then you go and hit something and you feel like you might break their wrist and their arm goes like this, and then you're scared to punch and you might as well have just sat on your ass.
That's just because I've not been taught how to do pads. It's not the strength. It's not the Anyway, we've gone into a full boxing. However, what's amazing is
other sports are available.
But what I find I love about where boxing is women now in the boxing gym. That has really moved on in the last, I'm just picking a number, 5 years or so.
We like to hit things too.
I was referred from London. Was it she won the Olympics?
Mm-hmm.
Ever since she had won, I think boxing for women has just went up and up.
Adams.
I would even say, even in general, like I never, when I was a teenager, even in earlier college, I never saw women in the free weight section. Never saw women lifting now as much as I do in gyms and stuff like that, boxing, whatever have it. And that's really nice to see. Like, even I have 11, soon to be 11-year-old daughter, and like she comes to CrossFit and she sees women lifting weights, and I think that's really good for women to see.
Important. Yeah.
Yeah, I never grew up seeing women lift weights of any kind.
My 6-year-old cousin wants to go into my gym and learn to do pull-ups, and I'm like, lethal, this is class. And her mom's like, what if she hurts herself? And I'm like, she won't if she does it correctly.
Right. My daughter does CrossFit Kids, and she got to flip a tire, and you would have thought she was an Olympian. You would have thought she won a gold medal. You would have thought she so excited. And I took a video, and she made me show that video to like strangers in the store kind of deal. She was just so excited. And it was just amazing for women to have, women growing up. I didn't have like things to brag about that weren't appearance related or things like that necessarily, depending on what setting you were in. And I think it's really good to have things to brag about that are strength related, like that kind of thing versus, whatever else. It's just a really good thing to grow up with.
It's always been that, like, in the gym, women do core and running, and that's it. And actually, they're the two things that I really hate.
I love that, Lauren, so much. I love that.
Yeah,
That makes me so happy.
And like, at my particular gym, I love them because they allow kids, well-behaved, like older kids can come in. And when she comes in there, she sees men and women working together, cheering each other on in a there's no like flirtation. It's just like friends. She can see that men and women can do that kind of stuff in a friendly way. She sees women of all shapes and sizes. She sees women of all ages, and she sees women and men alike of all abilities. She sees somebody with an empty barbell. She sees somebody else who's hoisting 200 pounds, and everyone's equally cheering each other, and nobody's like dead last. They're like all one. Everybody's cheering.
I think that's the amazing thing about CrossFit is it's not judgy at all.
Yeah.
No matter what you're doing, there's somebody there shouting you on.
Yeah, and she got to see me go from barely able to lift a bit, like do multiple rounds with an empty barbell. I was wrecked when I first started on an empty barbell, and now my 5 rep max on a deadlift is 250 pounds, and she got to see that change, that progression, and that's really cool for kids to see, a boy or a girl.
Yeah.
This is a whole other podcast, but that is so needed. That's so exciting.
And as well, the fact that the like flipping the tire is like really celebrated for her as well. I think that's like another element to it, is that she's in a position where she can brag about it, and you are cheering her on as a mum and saying like, you've done a really good job, that's amazing, to something that for us wasn't stereotypically a female thing to do.
Yeah, just talking about different, like we were talking about today's topic, like the different things that we do, the different sports. It's just showing her like she's a girl, right? So she doesn't have to play, like in our area, it's really big for the little girls to play soccer or to play softball. Like those are the two things they do. She can see that there's things beyond that. If she wants to go do, karate, if she wants to go do CrossFit Kids, whatever it is, like there's no stereotype for boys or girls. Whatever, boys can do ballet, like whatever athletic thing is going to get you moving and get your body moving and healthy, more power to you.
Absolutely.
It's like I've done Irish dancing from I could walk really, up until I was about 16. But now looking at like Irish dancers coming through, like I still follow it. They have proper gym programs, whereas I was just going, I was dancing and I had nothing outside of that. But they have like proper physios just for like your feet and like just proper gym programs as well. And it's changed so much.
I don't know if my sister's a professional dancer. She does like music shows. She does like stuff. But she just the other day shared a video with me that she teaches class city, like how to dance in like those crazy stilettos, and her counterpart is a guy, and he's better than she is, and they teach together. And like to see the athletic, like I just love that gender bending stuff and that open door, like anybody can do sport. I love it.
I love that.
So I guess to summarize all of that, but all of that is, I love the fact that how the conversation just spirals into all of those positives. But do what you enjoy. Like, just if you enjoy doing it, if you enjoy boogie in the kitchen to get your steps up, Hannah, I think I've seen you talk about that. As previously.
I love it. Yeah, steps in the kitchen, dancing in the kitchen, whatever works.
And if you enjoy something, don't do something you don't enjoy. If you hate going to the gym, don't do it. If you hate having a home workout, don't do it, because you're just not going to be motivated to go and do it. And there's advantages to going into a gym because you get the right environment. There's advantages to doing it at home because you save the time for the drive, and you can get something just put in. Like if I think about how long it takes to go to the gym, do the workout, drive home, all of that's but if I'm also then having to do all that and then go somewhere that I don't enjoy being, to do something I don't enjoy doing, I'm not going to sustain that for a long time. And if you're joining the JSA for weight loss or strength gains or whatever, those things are gonna take a long time. So you've got to do the stuff that's going to keep you there for longer than the 3 months or 6 months. It's just got to be enjoyable, and and there's so many different ways of doing it that you just got to go and do it. But it's also try stuff that's new. I didn't know that I would enjoy boxing until I went and did boxing, and actually the first couple of times I'm getting punched in the face. I hated it. And now I'm like, oh yeah, punched in the face, love that. It's, it's,
fuck.
But if you're things that steps because you get another enjoyment out of the therapy or the peace and quiet or whatever, great, go and do that. There's advantages to doing everything. But try stuff that's different. Go and join a football club or go and join a rugby club or whatever it is. And sometimes it's like the advantages I think that come out of it are like, Nikki, you've been to South Dance, and I'm sure you've got friends through that maybe you wouldn't have had previously, or
absolutely
gets to spend time with his brother playing golf, and actually having a chin wag through that. As I spoke about with steps, you can have a phone call with friends, or there's so many more advantages to doing the activity sometimes than just suffering through an exercise. So I'm sure our listeners are all doing different stuff as well, so they can tag us in with the different stuff they're doing and put that on the posts. But as Nikki, I'm really sorry because I was going to keep it short.
Just asleep in the corner.
Sorry to our listeners. It's that we're on at 90 minutes, but the content, the quality of the conversation is brilliant. So thank you very much, everybody, and keep following us and keep sharing the podcast. Thank you very much.